Good evening, gamers! Welcome back to Hellstorm Wargaming. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are we today? How are we today? Hello! How you doing, everyone? Welcome to this live stream. My name's Mikey. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Monday, and we got a lot to talk about. It's not good, chat. It's not good. It's brutal. It's brutal. There's a ghost on the left. You mean my jacket? I didn't even think about that. I didn't even consider. What's this been on time? I'm always on time. Why am I lying? Why am I clickbait? Chat, it's not clickbait. Chat, it's not clickbait. Look. It's Jover. This is me today. It's Jover. The tariffs. Yeah, the tariffs are cancelling my studio. I've torn my studio down today. I'm getting kicked out. Chat, I'm getting kicked out. So I need everyone to super chat right now. I need to buy a new studio. I need to buy one. I've had to take my studio down today. It's not clickbait. I've had to take it down. I wish I was lying. I wish I was lying, but I actually did. Look, it's gone. It's gone, bro. It's gone. Down it comes. Look, that's today. Look, paper fulgrims on the wall. 200% tariffs on podcast equipment was real. Yeah. It's Jover. It's Jover, chat. R.I.P. R.I.P. That's what we say. Look, that's the thumbnail. Building regs. No! Alright, chat, you might notice something. Alright. But I need someone to super chat just to be like, yo, Mikey, I'm sorry.
Mikey! Super chat.
Mike, thanks for the 3!
Yeah, but spill the beans already.
Justice, thanks for the 2. Studio coming down quicker than the US economy. Oh, chat, I wish I was joking. I wish I was joking. It's come down. I've had to take it down. All that time, all that effort, all that money spent, gone. Wasted. It's Jover. It's a sad day. Thank you to Mike and Justice for kicking off our little hypometer. If you want to support the channel now more than ever, then you can become a member. You can prime sub over on Twitch. Come live on twitch.tv/Hellstormwargaming as well. You can super chat, you can bits, you can prime, you can become a member, you can gift a membership. It will update, and we're trying to beat our top. We're trying to beat our top score of 27. It's currently on 2. Wait, what happened? I need a topic for Grim this week. It's going to be a bad one, mate. It's going to be a bad one. That sounds like a breach of contract if you have one. Chat, it's over. As I said, it's over. Look, it's gone. R.I.P. Alright, I'll tell you now. Okay, I'll tell you what's happened. You might notice in this picture something very, very interesting. Can you spot it, chat? Can you spot it? Now, the studio wall has come down. That is not clickbait. Yo! Thanks for the tier 1.
Mikey! Super chat £10.
Thanks for
But
the
me
10.
and Val were looking forward to trying to break in during Valfist. Face exhaling emoji.
Thank you for the 10. I appreciate you. And thanks for the tier 1. Fenry, I appreciate you. Right, it's not clickbait. I have taken it down. Okay, there is a reason though. I'm trying to find a good song. All right, you might notice in this image, okay, boarded window. But why, Mikey? Why is the window boarded? Can you see it? Can you see? Trump tires have really hit the watling tree. So when I moved into this room, okay. Oh, it is a camera. That's a camera. And this is a little pink tassel so people start banging their heads on it. So the windows are boarded up because all the windows are smashed in. So you might remember in my video of making the studio, all right, I was like, oh, we had to wait a week for people to do windows and then they never turned up. Well, guess what? Now they're finally coming because we've gone with a different company that's actually half competent. And then the people before told me that they could do it from the outside, and then the people that are coming this week have said they've got to do it from the inside. So I spent 3 fucking months building this studio. No hate to the Outpost, big love Outpost. Exclamation point Outpost in chat. Use my link to support the channel now more than ever. I spent 3 fucking months building this fucking studio. For the first month, I'm actually using it for the window people to go, oh yeah, you need to fucking take it down so we can do the fucking window. Just my fucking luck. Just my fucking luck. So no, I'm not actually getting kicked out. It's a joke. I'm not actually losing the studio. I have had to take it down today. I have had to take it down today, which is like super annoying. Super annoying. Are you a little bit annoyed? I am annoyed at General. Do you remember I complained about the plumber and everyone called me a prick for hating tradespeople? Well, guess what? I'm more angry at them now. God, so annoying. So annoying. Because the annoying thing is, right, is like, as you can see, this is what I basically got 2 wall panels, okay? I've got 2 wall panels. I tried to take just one down, but they couldn't. They said they need access to this window, which isn't broken. This one isn't broken. The next 2 are. Okay. I was like, can I leave this one up? They're like, nope, you gotta take it down. I was like, fucking goddamn it. So I've had to take this down, so I've had to take all this rock fascia down, which I fucking spent 3 hours fucking glued to a wall. Can't wait to see your reaction with your garden quits. Fucking shoot me, bro. Fucking shoot me, alright? So now, jokes aside, I did actually take it all down today. As you can see, as I said, here's the video. I had to take a lot of it down. Gives you another chance to drop a hammer somewhere and give it. I'm not trying to sabotage Outpost, to be clear. We love Outpost, alright? We love Outpost. But if anyone's driving a van that says we replace windows, I'm going to flag them off as they drive past. Give them some of that, you know? Or maybe I'll do it like Ali G. You know, I'm in my car, and I'm like... And it's going to be that. It's going to be very that. So what this means is, chat, I will not be streaming again this Friday because I don't think I'll have everything back up to normal. All right? As soon as you put that fake wall back up, someone's going to break your new window guarantee. Well, they can fucking suck a dick. All right? They can suck a dick. An LG reference in 2025. Yeah, because I do it all the time. So I won't be streaming a game this Friday. I wasn't going to be streaming a game this Friday anyway. I was planning on streaming a game this Thursday because I'm actually going to salute this weekend. Are you going to salute, chat? Are you going to salute this weekend? Because I am. Straight rage, yeah. Well, when did the Ali G movie come out? The Millennium? You know. Ali G movie. 2002 Stoner movie. Nice. It's only one day. It is only one day. It is only a one day, which is very cringe. But yeah, so I won't be streaming a game this week, annoyingly. And hopefully I should be back up and running next week. Another awkward meeting. Yeah, so if you're at Salute this weekend, come down and say hi. That'll be very cool. You is even more evil than Abaddon with your clickbait. So if you're at Salute this weekend, it's the South London Warlord show. They wouldn't give me a press pass either. Shout out to Warmag. You can use my code, Hellstorm, to get 10% off. Warmag are actually sorting me some tickets out because they won't... they won't respond to my email again. If you don't know, I'm just having a bit of a week, okay, and I'm getting it all out, get it all off my chest in the first 15 minutes of the video of the stream. So last year I went to Salute, okay, had a fun time, all right, decent event, very historical but fun time, all right. Now, I messaged, you know, I was like, oh, they're announcing all these influencers. So I sent a little message on Instagram. Hello, Salute. I would love to come down and film. It'll be very cool. I am a famous influencer. My name's Mikey from Hellstormwargaming. Here's my channel and my stats. It'll be very cool to collaborate. And I'll say this properly because it's relevant. I would love to come film at the event. Let me know if I need to apply for anything or anything that I need to do. All right. And the response I got the day before the event was, hi, feel free to record at the show once you're in. So I was like, maybe they don't do press passes. All right. I was like, hello, my name's Maggie. I'm really cool. And then I got, yeah, feel free to film while you're here, pal. Okay. And then, lo and behold, when I fucking got there, all right, when I got to the Salute event, when I got to Salute, everybody and their dog had a press pass. I, Muggins, would have to buy a ticket. All right, whatever. You know, I'm not above buying a ticket, but I am above. Why have I had to buy a ticket when everyone else has got a free one? Why has everyone else got early access? Why has everyone else got why has everyone else got an influencer goodie bag? All right. So I was a bit like, fucking hell, okay? Everyone took the piss of me. Pete the Wargamer, the nicest person in Warhammer, was like, haha, look what I've got. You ain't got one of these, have you? Look at this, pointing to his press band. All right. Pete the Wargamer was ripping into me and going, look at this. Look what I've got that you haven't. Okay. And I was like, haha, worries me. All right. Very funny. Very funny. Okay. Chat, by the way, we've got like 2 minutes left. So anyway, I applied via the website, like everybody else, on the website months ago to get press passes because I don't know if you wanted to hear this again, chat, but I'm kind of a big deal. You know, I'm much larger than most people, just in a few regards. So I applied like they told me to, didn't get a response. So I was chatting to the lovely people over at Warmag who make all the magnetic cases that I use. All right. They make all the magnetic cases I use, and they were like, "Are you going to be at Salute?" And I was like, I hope I am. I haven't responded to my press pass yet." So Warmag were like, "Yeah, no worries. Well, we'll sort you some exhibitor badges out." So I'm only going to Salute thanks to Warmag. All right. However, if you are there, make sure you come and say hi. I'll be wearing my Warmag apron, maybe a chef's hat. And also the Colour Forge, you know, the Colour Forge, who we love, will have, I think they'll have my paint on sale, and they'll also have some signed cards by me. And there's some rare ones in there. I signed a bunch of cards. Some of them I've wrote shiny on. Some of them I've wrote PSA 10. Some of them I've wrote some lovely messages on. Okay. So if you see the Colour Forge stand, make sure you go say hi and say, Mikey sent you, I want a signed card. Can I pull a shiny? You just don't impress them. Very good. Very good. Maybe Salute just want to keep you grounded. They certainly are keeping me grounded. I just don't get it. I just don't get it, chat. So you're a YouTuber that don't impress me much. Fuck's sake. So I'm just like, you know, I'm trying to go about, everybody's being announced, being on panels and stuff, and I still can't get a press pass 2 years in a row. 2 fucking years in a row. Worries me. Worries me, right? It's just funny. It's just very funny at this point. So now, everybody's going to be laughing with they're not going to be like, look at my press band. They're going to be like, look at my press and goodie bag that I have that you don't. Should have mentioned that you got a gold ticket once. That would have given you a pro gamer pass. I should have got in and gone be like, I have the best selling everything, you know, tournaments, spray paint. I'm kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal. I know you don't have red tanks in historical games, but you could. You could. So anyway, I'll be there anyway. I'll be doing some stuff with Warmag, some stuff with Colour Forge, and just generally hanging out. So if you are at Salute, come and say hi and make me think it was worth going. Make me think it was worth going. It'd be nice to see you. Because that's all I care about. That's why I want to go. Hang out and say hi to people. Is Georgie going? Yes, myself and Georgie are going together. Make sure you visit the Burrows and Badgers. What's Burrows and Badgers? You got his mic stand. Even Georgie couldn't get press passes. You should do the Freddy got fingered thing and just walk in and say, it's okay, I'm here with the bag. I'm a big deal. What's Freddy got fingered? I feel like I recognize that. I bet Inky would get a press pass. You are correct. Just me. Just me that wouldn't. Tanks use red oxide primer, so historicals could use your red paint for that authentic look. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm kind of a big deal. So I don't fucking know. Anyway. I don't think I'll go next year at this rate. If they don't roll out a red carpet next year, I'm not going. I ain't traveling to London again unless I get a red carpet and like grapes fed to me. I'm joking. I'll probably go again. We'll see. We'll see how this weekend goes. So yeah, so that's why I'm going this weekend. It's a big weekend. It's a very big Saturday, you might have seen. Big deal or big diva? No, big deal. No, I've never been a diva in my life. Never been a diva in my life. I just want people to reply to their emails. That's all. That's all I ask. You know? If you just tell me I can't have a press pass, I'll be like, yeah, fair enough. Whatever. Don't leave me on red for 3 months. Red carpet in this economy, best we could do is reliquary red. Exactly. Exclamation point colour forge in chat if you want to hear what I'm on about. So chat, I've actually been... Oh, didn't want to do that one sec. I've actually been really busy and I've got a huge announcement. Okay. Big announcement. Big announcement. And studio talk. But before I do a big announcement, I realized I've not told my Discord, the entirety of my Discord that I'm live. You can be part of that lovely Discord by pressing /1 Discord in chat. Big tournament. Tournament news. Live now. So yeah, if you're part of the Discord, you get member-only access, but it's a great place to be. You get loads of discount codes. It's a fun-filled community. You can share stuff with me. Get alerts every time I go live. So yeah. So my big announcement is that we're going to be talking about All-Stars, because I've been doing a lot of fucking stuff. The tyrants have destroyed my studio. How ignorant is that statement? I'd love for you to elaborate on that, because it's not my fucking fault and it's not my fucking problem. Go on. Elaborate, I dare you. I can sit here with my normal complexion and laugh. What happened to your studio? Long story short, the windows are finally getting replaced, so I had to take it apart. Which is very annoying. I've done the clickbait. I've got rid of the clickbait now. So, I wanted to talk about... They just destroyed my chances of getting Switch 2. Yeah. Bro, I was reading the fucking Twitter thread. And I only read Twitter now to just call people cunts. Okay? I just go, you're embarrassing. Do Warmag have a supplier in Australia? I don't think they do, I'm afraid, Walking Death. But if you would like one, drop them a message on Instagram, you know? That's the best way if you want stuff to kind of start moving. Tell them and they'll try and move it, you know? I was just reading a Twitter thread about the Switch 2 price, you know? Because I'm very excited Switch 2. It goes on pre-order tomorrow. And hopefully I'll get an email saying I can have one. But then I was reading the GameStop thread of like Switch 2 pre-orders have been delayed in the US, and everyone will be like, Nintendo trying to scalp even more. And then also there's people be like, they've realized the Nintendo prices in America are just too high, so they've pulled it because they're going to make it cheaper. And I'm just like, brosif. No, Mario Kart's going to be $150 for you. Mario Kart's going to be $150 for you, bro. Very funny, very funny. All I'm hoping is since they've delayed pre-orders in the US, that means there's more pre-orders available in the UK. That's what I'm hoping, you know? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, America. That's all I'll say. Now, I appreciate you. A lot of people who watch my channel didn't play those stupid games and now are receiving the stupid prizes. I can only apologize. But anyone else, ha! For anyone else, ha ha! Unlucky. It's about time. It's about time. People who vote for dumb dickheads start reaping the rewards, because clearly they haven't been. I think in my week of anger, I'm calling this the week of anger before I go back to the year of kindness. You know, the week of anger. I feel like the only way people will learn now is by feeling it, rather than being told, explained, facts. You know, they hate experts. Now they just need to feel it. I think, then they'll realize. Well, who knew that GDU wouldn't have to raise prices this year because the US government would do it for them? What's even funnier, Austin, is GW going to increase the price anyway? So it's just going to go up like twice. And by a lot. Hilarious shit. Hilarious shit. Anyway, chat. More close to home. UK and EU friends likely, Americans unlikely, will care about a lot of what I'm about to announce. But also, Steelman, feel free to vent. You're in a safe space here, you know? You're in a safe space here, unless you're an idiot. But you might be interested if you'd like to escape some of that talk or that drama. over to All Stars, the series of my events that I'm running. Okay. 80 quid for 10 Marines incoming, yeah, literally. So if you didn't know, I run a whole bunch of Warhammer 40k tournaments throughout the year. Multiple venues, but this year I'm running a lot of my events at the Outpost in Sheffield, which is actually where my studio is based, okay? The studio that I've destroyed in this thumbnail, the studio I've destroyed in this thumbnail is where this is based. I wanted to tell you a little bit about it because I've been working very hard, okay? This is relevant if you are attending All Stars, or More Stars, our AOS event series. And it's relevant if you are thinking about attending, okay? There's some information here that's very relevant for the next 2 weeks. I'm actually running an event on the 19th and 20th of August. If you type !shop in chat, like I've just done, you'll get a link to my web store where you can buy tickets for our upcoming events. So there's more events coming very soon, all right? So I'm just going to pin this before I start. So, big news. I made you a PowerPoint presentation because I know that's the only way that people actually listen. I just need a song before I go through it. Easter Stars, yeah. Is this the right song? No. This is not the right song. All right, I think I know this one. Chat, I want to tell you about All Stars and More Stars news. All right. Easter Stars take your rift, yeah. So, I've been very busy for the past few weeks, as you might know, but I've been busy in the background. I'm finally ready to show you. Today, we're going to be covering the big changes. I'm using new missions, new maps, talking about the armies, talking about the venue, and talking about new dates for Warhammer 40k tournaments run by yours truly. Some of, if not the best events in the country, if not worldwide. As said by players at these events, all right? Not just me. I will always say that, obviously. I've got to do a PowerPoint pitch for 30k event at Big All Stars. Exactly. So I brought you a PowerPoint presentation. That means you have to listen to all of it. Okay. Missions. What a big complaint of tournaments is using the same missions over and over again, all right? And the big complaint is playing the same layouts and the same deployments over and over again. I've done it. I've reinvented the map pack. All right. I said missions are repetitive, so I added different missions. I also added new deployments, chap. I added hammer and anvil. I added hammer and anvil. Okay. I wanted to keep it exciting. I'll tell you a little bit more about that soon. So I added different missions. Okay. And we also, if you didn't know, we use 5 types of tournament terrain. So the unique thing about Hellstorm events is when you come up to the event, we don't use ranked tables. Table 1 isn't really table 1. It's just the table number. Because the problem is when you play tournaments, the worst thing about them is you could go from table 1000 to table 1, and the only difference is the location where you are and the person you're playing. The table number doesn't actually mean anything, and I feel like that's a really a real shame, because what's the point in moving armies and moving tables if the terrain is exactly the same? So we use 5 types of terrain, 5, count them, different layouts on every table. Your table number's random, and depending on what type of table or table number you land on, you play different type of terrain. You play the same mission, play the same deployment, but you play on completely different type of terrain, which keeps it exciting, it keeps it fresh. It also means I have to draw 30 maps for a 5-round event, which is obviously crazy. 30, count them. Which is why I'm doing a whole PowerPoint presentation to tell you about it, because I feel like I deserve some credit. So maps, formerly WTC inspired, which is our map 1. We have updated it to be in line with the Goonhammer events and this style. We've updated it to a GW layout. Okay, so whilst it's WTC terrain, the layouts are actually Games Workshop layouts. All right. Now, if you go to our Discord, okay, this is our Discord, and you scroll down to All Star Events. All right. You've got Super All-Stars and 40k events here. You've got the thread for the event that's happening here. When will the map packs be finalised? By Monday. Guess what? I finished it last night. All right. This is a locked thread, but this is all the information about these events. And all of the map packs are already updated. Okay. So you can actually click on WTC map packs. Now it's called WTC map pack because that's what my bit.ly link is. And I'm not paying to change it. But it's called WTC terrain in GW layouts. Smashed it. Smashed it, chat. Okay. So we've actually got all of these new layouts already published, as you can see. They're already there, having a great time. You can do what you like, okay? So, as I said, as part of this slideshow... Why has it crashed? There we go. So, I've updated Map Pack 1 to rather being WTC inspired, it's now a GW layout. Now, obviously, I have 5 types of terrain. Table 4 is a GW layout, so we actually have 2 GW layout tables. However, they're different layouts in each table, all right? So whilst one table might be using layout 1, another one might be using layout 2 to make it feel different, so not every table is the same. Because I don't want to be like, oh, I have 5 types of terrain, but 2 of them are the same. That doesn't make any sense. So we have 2 different types of GW Pariah Nexus Tournament Companion layouts in the event at the same time, per round. So it's now very similar to Goonhammer, because this is what they do. It's this type of terrain. This picture is the terrain that we are going to be using. This is the Goonhammer. This is a picture from Goonhammer, which is the same terrain. It's the same company. It's by Bandua. It's a great set of terrain. It's really good. So yeah, so let's variety technically, but different layouts per table. It's still random, okay? Now we use LGT. That's right. I took one of their team event map packs and put it into singles. Because this is the Hammer and Anvil one. Because in UKTC, especially if you're in the UK, you know what this is. But also if you're in the UK, the main thing is that UKTC is like every month in a different city, okay? Which is whatever, fine. Personally don't like the events, but whatever. That's not what I'm trying to get at. The problem with the UKTC is that every other fucking event uses UKTC terrain, and they use the UKTC missions, and these UKTC layouts, and now we have them, don't get me wrong, but they never use Hammer and Anvil in singles. Never. They use Sweep and Engagement, they use Crucible of Battle, and they use Search and Destroy. 3 deployment types, which is why when you play events and you come to my event and we're using similar terrain layouts, because that's what the map packs have got public, you're like, Mikey, the missions are really boring. So I just went to their team map pack and I was like, you know what? Let's have Hammer and Anvil to keep it a little bit interesting. Now you're probably thinking, Mikey, Hammer and Anvil sounds fucking cringe, because how do I get to the other side? Well, thankfully, as I said, most of our tables at the venue that we're using, okay, are in pairs, all right? There is 1 set, if not 2 sets of 3 together, where it means 4 players max are going to be in a bit of a pickle, but it's not awful. But all the tables are in pairs, so it's really easy to go round, okay? You don't have to run round a row of 5 and then run all the way back. They're in pairs, so if you're on this side, you can just run to this side easy. If you're on this side, you can run to this side. There's going to be, I believe it's only 1 row. It might be 2 at a push, all right, that are going to be having to run round. Now, obviously, Hammer and Anvil controversial because of that, but I feel like because of the venue that we're using, it's a lovely venue with loads of space. And I said the tables are in pairs, so getting around the tables, really easy, okay? Now, it's only one mission is using Hammer and Anvil, but it's to try and break it up rather than just playing Search and Destroy and Crucible, because they are the most common deployments that you have at a tournament, okay? What about crawling underneath? No, you can't do that. You can vault over if you really want to, but your neck is... I mean, it's all to do with the venue at that point. So I took a Hammer and Anvil layout from their team event, because I think it looks quite fun. Now, we're actually playing the ritual on this, so there's actually 1 objective right in the center, and all the other 3 are gone. But I thought it'd be interesting to try it out and see how it goes, okay? I think it's a pretty balanced board, because it's for the team event. This is the heavy version. There's like light and whatever, but there's not that much change. So that's a big change from map 2. You don't see Hammer and Anvil at any UKTC singles. We're keeping it interesting, even if we are using the most used terrain pack in the UK. Map 4, I haven't mentioned map 3 because it's WTC, it hasn't really updated. Map 4, GW layout, as I mentioned. This is layout 1, for example. When GW updated from Leviathan to Pariah Nexus, they actually removed a bunch of terrain from the bases, okay? Because obviously you have these huge footprints like I'm showing you here. They removed a bunch of terrain from the bases as well as updating the terrain and map packs. Now, I like the footprints. I think the footprints are fine on most layouts. Layout 6 is still a bit weird, but we are using it for one mission. But what they did was he removed physical pieces of the terrain and they actually reduced it from what it was, which a lot of people felt like the GW map pack was a little heavy, little being the keyword. They actually removed almost half the amount of terrain off the footprints, but kept the same amount of footprints, which is really weird, really weird. Because what it did was it took Games Workshop layout or Pariah Nexus layout or Leviathan layouts from being a little heavy to extremely light, barring the footprints. So I've actually just added more terrain in because there's like really good staging areas in the middle. There's really good staging area or like safe area and deployment zone. All of our terrain is about 4.5 inches high. Now, this is one thing I'd like to update for the next tournament happening in August. Is I'd like the home terrain to be really tall. I'd like to add some height to it because all of our buildings currently are a little bit small. I'd like maybe this one a bit higher and this one a bit higher. It's a bare minimum. But we've added a bunch of terrain to the bases to make it a lot heavier, to make it a lot more interesting, a lot more dynamic, and not feel quite as wide open. Okay, and then finally, map 5, Proxy Wars. We've removed all the stuff that we weren't really using. We had craters and crates that we got rid of. And then I've also added some huge footprints. Now, we had this one already, and we had 2 of these per person. Now we've got quite a large one in the deployment zone. And I feel like this makes it a lot closer to other map packs that you're going to play on, but also very different because you've still got these triangles, which is like quite unique. Because Proxy Wars, great 3D printing company that make awesome terrain. We've worked with them for a long time. They make the base adapters that we sell on our web store as well. This has suddenly gone from this feels heavy, but like the terrain isn't quite right, to actually this is a really dynamic board and I really like it. I think it's really good. So I know we're just looking at a lot of drawings. I didn't take a lot of pictures while I was doing a lot of testing just because I wanted to test and I was more focused on like measurements and stuff than pictures of the actual maps. But I feel like it's suddenly gone from kind of all right, but a bit weird unless you're playing the wrong army. Like war dogs can't hide behind these at all, to suddenly a very interesting map pack. So the armies, the drama. All right, if I haven't got drama, I'll make some. I am banning Mordaka. Mordaka is absolutely cracked. All right, someone posted in our Discord earlier that someone went to Sheffield GT, another UKTC event this weekend, and they went 4-1 with a stomper. Which you're going to be like, yo, Mikey, that's crazy. You went 4-1 with a stomper. That's really cool. All right. And I think people fail to realise that if someone can go to a tournament with an 800-point paperweight and still go 4-1, maybe there's a little bit of a problem. If we look at the stats this week, okay, because I know someone's going to be like, oh, the stats. If you look at just Meta Monday as an example, I'm going to have some more solid stats later. This is the stats from this week. Orks had a nice 54% win rate with 2 event wins. What's this? Don't look at the Dakar detachment with a 63% win rate and 39 of its 39%, 16 of 41, players going X and 1 or X and O worldwide. So 40% of players are not losing on the first day. They are all going 4-1 at a minimum, or 3-1. So you can look at the Orc win rate and say it's 54%, but you have to look at the T-whip. How often is Mordaka showing up in a podium? How often is Mordaka showing up undefeated day one? And it's absurdly high. Higher than Eldar. Actually wild that people are trying to sup copium and say it's not broken. People just need to play against it. It's honestly wild. Mordaka, out you go. All right? No. As a little pull quote. Oh. A little pull quote. One orc player might be upset by banning Mordaka, but that's less than 5 players feel like they couldn't win from the start because they had to play into Mordaka. All right? If you are looking at my event and being like, Mikey, I was going to buy a ticket, but you banned Mordaka. All right. So now I'm not going to come. Then I don't want you at my event anyway because your attitude fucks. Your attitude is fucked. All right. If you don't look at this and go, that's a bit disappointing, but I'll play something else, then I don't want you there anyway. Because the thing is with it is you're only going there to try and smash people and you weren't really going there to make 5 new friends. All right. That's my opinion on it. So, along with other events, we are going to be banning Mordaka. Now, Mikey ban Mordaka, now I'm not going to come. I mean, if you've got no porn to watch, mate. Now, an interesting one is I'd normally ban the next army, but I thought I'd be nice, all right? To give people options. What if you've been building a Mordaka army and now you don't know what to play? Well, Emperor's Children, which normally would be banned, I'm going to allow them. These will normally be banned because the book isn't out. The book isn't formally released yet. It's just in a FOMO box. All right. Now, normally you would say don't use these. But the problem is we know it's going on pre-order this Saturday, which means my event is going to be running halfway through the pre-order sequence. And if I'd waited another week, people could play Emperor's Children. They've probably got armies sat waiting. You know, that's fine. You know. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. However, only with models that are actually out that you can buy off the shelf. We're not having any Fulgrims, no Lucius, no Cacophonus, no Flawless Blades. And I think they're the 4 units that aren't out. If there's any more, they're banned as well. All right. You can use Lord Exultants. You can use Infractors. You can use Tormentors. You can use Rhinos, Land Raiders, Helldrakes, Mauler Fiends, whatever. But I think if we're going to allow it early, I'm not going to allow models that aren't out yet. Because you don't know how big they are. You don't know what size they're going to be. I don't think it's fair if someone's gone, oh, I didn't realise I could convert a Fulgrim and use that. Obviously, I don't think that's fair. So I think if you've got Noise Marines, you've got Infractors, you've got Tormentors, you've got Lord Exultants, you've got some vehicles, then crack on. You know? Can I use a paper foot cutout for Fulgrim? I've seen a YouTuber doing that. No paper cutouts! That's my USP. Do not steal my idea. Don't steal my idea. Don't you be cutting out a picture of Lucius and using that on the board. That's crazy. And then finally, Goremongers and Sanctifiers are Gucci. They're allowed. Yeah, so World Eater players, if you've got some Goremongers painted up, they're allowed. Okay. So a little bit controversial on both of those, I would say. Allowing Emperor's Children early, but also banning Mordaka at the same time. But I just want to keep you on your toes, you know? So if you're an Emperor's Children player, you want to come play the tournament, again, there's a link in the pinned comment if you'd like to grab a ticket. It's happening in 2 weeks in Sheffield. And then the venue. Ah, look at that. Look at it. You might realise that we've moved venue. We're based in Sheffield now. We're going to be running the event at the Outpost in Sheffield at 35 Walker Street. Look at these tables. Look at their beautiful height with the trays underneath so you can put your armies there. Look at all the space. Look, rows of 2. Rows of 2. Playing that hammer and anvil is going to be so easy, bro. No problem playing hammer and anvil on these bad boys. All right. So this is it. This is good. It's going to be great. It's going to be cool. And I think that is... Oh! Dates! That's, of course. We're also announcing new dates. As you can see... AOS events are getting cancelled, and we're going to be replacing them with one-dayers. We've also got some one-dayers on 29th of June, if it's a 40k RTT. So if you're knocking about, it's a Sunday, we're going to be putting a one-day event on. We've also got one on the 27th of September, which is a Saturday. And then for AOS, we've got a 19th of July, we've got a one-day event, and then 11th of October, another one-day event. Okay, so they'll be going up on BCP shortly, probably today or tomorrow. And then there are new dates. Any cheap accommodation? Yes, there's the Best Western, which is across the road from the venue. If you book it far enough in advance, it's quite cheap. But yeah, that's the cheapest one. There's loads of hotels really close to the Outpost. And also it's in Sheffield, so there's just loads of hotels. There's like Premier Inns, travel lodges, etc. So, but Best Western is the closest that's pretty cheap. When I put Vince up for the night, I think he cost £40, which is pretty good for a hotel. So they're the dates of the rest of the events. I know a lot of people are going to be asking me now, what's happening with Super All Stars 3? All right, I'll give you the lowdown. I've been screwed over twice by 2 different venues. So Super All Stars 3 is on a little bit of a pause, okay? So don't be asking me when am I announcing it. I'll announce it as soon as I can. I really want to announce it, but I don't want to announce it until the venue's confirmed, the contracts are signed, and everything's sorted. Because I know it's going to be a big one. It's going to be good. We're going a lot bigger this year. We're going to have multiple game systems. The plan is to have 40k, Age of Sigmar, and Kill Team all at once. But I don't want to announce anything too early, and I don't want to announce anything too far ahead, you know. So I just, if you could bear with me for Super All Stars 3, it's called 3 because there's going to be 3 games. That's the plan. But just bear with me on it because I wanted to run 2 this year. It's currently looking like 1. Bear with me. All right. Bear with me on that one. Okay. And that's it. That's the end of the slideshow, chat. That's everything. That's all the news from Super All Stars and All Stars and More Stars. So lots of new events. It's not a shuffle. It's not. Lots of new events, lots of new dates, lots of changes. And as I said, you can grab a ticket using my link that's pinned in the comments. All right, if you go over, you can go shop, you go event tickets, and we've got 2 events currently up, and obviously the other ones are going up shortly. All right, we've got Super All Stars, All Stars April, which is happening in 2 weeks on the 19th and 20th of April. It's the Easter weekend. Good and bad. You're not doing it, you're off. It's bank holiday. We've also got one in August as well, on the last weekend of August. And as I've said, if you go over to our Discord, all the map packs are currently published. So if you wanted to have a look at WTC, for example, a WTC style map pack, you know, this is our new layout. So we're using layout 3. Not really used that much. I think layout 3 looks really fun. I think I like this style. We're using layout 8. Look at this absolute crazy layout. I love this one. Bearing in mind, these are 4 ruins, but this one looks absolutely wild. I love the look of it. It looks so good. You know, you can deploy. It feels really open, the deployment zone. You can actually deploy pretty much everywhere, bar here, maybe. No, not even there. There's no line of sight line throughs between the deployment zone because of these 4 in the middle, which just looks funny. I just think this looks funny. You know, you deploy here. All right, maybe there's a smidgen there. Maybe there's a smidgen straight through. Even then, it's going to be close. There's ½ an inch spare there. And then the same here. But I think that's about it from deployment to block the line of sight blocking terrain. So it looks crazy, but I actually think it's really heavy. We're also using layout 3 again for Crucible, for Search and Destroy, which is exciting. Again, I just love this. I love this one. It looks good. And then finally, we're going back to that one in round 8. Round 5, layout 8. So again, very similar. There's hardly any. There's a bit of a cut through there to there, but other than that, maybe a little smidgen there to there again. But other than that, there's hardly any cut through. I think it just looks weird. But then you look at the 4 in the middle, you're like, holy shit. So I said we've got LGT or UKTC layout. As I mentioned, we've got all of their normal deployments, but we're also using this one. So I tried to Photoshop these objectives out. It's very difficult. Got bored. But yeah, so you've got the big L in the middle made up with the walls and the small building. So this one's actually deceptively heavy as well because there's no cut through whatsoever except for here. You know, here and here is the only way you can sit in deployment zone and shoot straight across, which is quite fun. So we got some missions. Oh, there's a bit of a gap there. Where is it? Where's my fucking... There we go. I was like, what the fuck? Where's my fucking thingy? So, like a nice range of missions. We've got Take and Hold round 4 to keep it nice and easy, and then Kill Stuff round 5. Drukhari plays actually cried for the top table round 5. What else we got? What else we got? We got the game map ones. These are WTC. These are just WTC. Alright, these are just no changes. I didn't really talk about them much in the presentation because they are just WTC terrain. It's like there's not much point talking about it too much, I would say. Because it's like, it's a given. It's a given, you know? We've got the Hammer and Anvil one now, which is fun. You've got all the other ones which are pretty normal. All these ones are pretty well balanced, I would say. I think the footprints are huge, but I think it works quite well, to be honest. I think it does work quite well. And then, I've already spoken a little bit about the GW one. So we've added a bunch of extra terrain on the bases. So you've got like multiple U-shapes now, like Sweeping Engagement, for example. You've got like the nice hunker there. You've got the hunker in the middle as well, so you can stage quite well. You can go here, it's a little bit more dangerous. The middle objective is quite open on these ones. But you've got like some interesting ways where you can, like, if you did start here, you've got like a nice safe bit to jump in here. So I feel like just adding those bit extra, like 4 pieces of terrain we've added to each board. The other thing as well, I completely forgot to mention, we got rid of a lot of the acrylic. On these boards, these are all acrylic bases. We've updated them to battle mats. So I've cut even more battle mats to make terrain bases. But yeah, like you've got like a nice safe bit here, but then a nice stage in the middle to jump to. Because this is layout 1. Layout 1's probably one of my favourite of the GW ones, I would say. This one, layout 6, is a bit, I'd say layout 6 is a bit hit and miss depending on the mission, you know? Like, Search and Destroy is not too bad. On Crucible, it's really strange. I think, do we have this for Crucible? I think we do. Yeah, Crucible, I think I might drop this one. I didn't want to change too much. We've pulled the terrain back so you can actually hold the objective in a building. We've added an extra U here and U there. What you can actually do on this one, on layout 6, is you can deploy here, very safe, walk here, see everything in their deployment zone. You know? You can't quite see here, but like obviously like straight down here is a bit of a kill line. So if you are on round 5 on the top table, something to watch out for. Double ballistas up here, having the best time. Because what happens is, because you end up deploying here, so you can shoot down this way, you actually completely mitigate a lot of stuff from here, because if it wants to come out, it's kind of in like no man's land. And if it like charges, then you're having a great time. If you fail the charge and stuff, you're going to be like super annoyed about it. So if you fail the charge, you just get shot by everything up here. So anything that comes here and doesn't make it just dies. So it ends up, this objective is like really easy to control because you just have pressure on from the backline. You can long range shooting. If you got combat armies, you just stage here and hit anything in there, you know. So this one you usually have on lock no matter what on this deployment or Search and Destroy, where it's a lot closer. So you have this one pretty much on lock all the time. But then it kind of comes to a fight over the middle, which is quite open. So it makes it a little bit interesting. Like, what do you throw out? You need something like quite sturdy to stay out there, maybe. Or you start fighting on their side. You know, you start fighting for this one because this is the one that you would be charging to. But you just have to watch out if people just setting up like ballistas or some of the long range shooting just sat here, just firing away, you know. So I like that one. And then Proxy Wars is one that's had the big update. As I said, it's had new bases added. So we've added another 12x6 footprint. So as you can see, so we've got like the triangles. So we've now got a triangle on one of the big bases. I almost added another one, but then I thought it was a bit too heavy. I thought it was like super heavy if I added 4 massive footprints and the big triangles. So I'm going to roll with this one, see how we get on. You got like a little staging area here. You got like, you can bung stuff here to hide a little bit and then get straight into the corner. But the footprint's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting. Then you got like a little bit here that you can hide right in the corner with like infantry and stuff, like assault intercessors and stuff like that. With jump packs can just sit here and then jump to here to grab this one. You've got like from here to there or from here to there to take that one and go for have a good time in the middle. And obviously you got like this really big L, you know, because they're like this. They're 2 stories high. you can stage here and then jump straight to there. So I feel like these two are quite fun to get to, but then the middle is the more awkward one, because you've got somewhere to hide, but you're like right at the edge. You're not really like hiding in the building to hold it. So, where can I place a stomper? Nowhere. Now you can deploy stompers pretty much like here, you know. Here's a good place for stomper. I think you might be able to drop a stomper here. I'm not 100% sure. Our map packs aren't really designed for Titanic units outside of an Imperial Knight. Anything bigger is a bit more awkward. It's one thing we don't really recommend is bringing like Warhounds, etc. But it is doable. You know, you can deploy it in this corner. It'd probably fit quite comfortably there. It'd fit here, and it'd probably fit there on the front line. So, and then we got the hammer and anvil one again. There's no real good cut-throughs from deployment zone to deployment zone. Talmanta is, yeah. There's no real cut-throughs from the deployment zone. It's very similar to the GW one I mentioned, because you've got like these big buildings on each side, which I'm not sure, because it's hammer and anvil, it might be a bit more awkward to play. I'm not 100% sure how it's going to go, but we're just going to hope for the best. But because you got like the angled in the middle, that blocks the center off, so there's no real cut through line at all. So this one's going to be quite heavy. I think this one's going to be really good for staging combat units. The problem is you can walk to here and be safe. You walk, but the problem is as soon as you get in here, that's quite open. If these L's were the other way around, this would be like a brutal combat board. But because of that, I feel like that completely changes the dynamic of that middle building to where you're probably going to want to stage this way and then there, rather than going straight to the center. But the problem is if you're not going straight to the center, you're not charging onto the objective easily. So there's a lot of thought process that you have to think about when building a board and drawing a map pack. Is that like, okay, if I put a building here and I put a building there, then I just charge in the middle and win. Whereas you have to like try to kind of consider, because obviously these are all designed by me, so they're shit, sorry. But you have to kind of consider like, okay, can I hold my home objective? Can I protect my home objective? You know, can I protect my home objective easily? Okay, can I protect it too easily? Is it actually can you actually get to it? You know, so like for this, there's not much in the corners. There's places you can hide. You can put units here. They're going to be relatively safe if you dropped a unit here, for example, because obviously this big building in the way and then this one. So being able to like use stuff for screening here, a little bit more awkward here because it's a bit thinner. But you're going to be able to screen quite easily. But also, if you only have stuff one unit on the home objective, your opponent can deep strike here, probably away from your army as well. So it's kind of like a, you know, it's like a bit of a double-edged sword of having like quite a protective bit down here. But then, as I mentioned, if you just had like this, if it was just straight on, you know, rotated 45 degrees or whatever, and the L was like more protected for your deployment zone, you've got to kind of consider, oh, actually, well, now I can just start here, completely hidden, completely protected with like, let's say a heavy combat unit. Let's just say let's say you get some good advance rolls, like a big brick of 10 Terminators. You start them in here, you get a decent advance roll, you know. You just run them to the middle and hide in this one. And then next thing you just move out and charge. And whatever is in the middle of the board just gets whacked by 10 Terminators. Let's say it's 10 Assault Terminators or something stupid. Now, nobody's running 10 Assault Terminators often, right? But the point is those are the things you have to consider to make a board more dynamic. Now, this one's a little bit more awkward to use. If you get in here, you're well protected from here, but not so much this side. But then this side isn't so well protected from anything because it's got a small ruin in there rather than quite a large ruin. So it just makes it, I feel like it makes it, that's the kind of like the things that I'm thinking when I'm trying to design a board is kind of like, what can start in here and stage straight across, right? Okay, how can we make the game more dynamic to not penalize people for doing that, but not give them everything to do that? How do we take a little bit away and give it to the opponent if I stage 10 Terminators in this building? Okay, we turn the L the other way, so it's not completely protected, and the only place you can see is this side. We make it so you can see this side, you know? Game design, yeah, exactly. That's kind of like, it's kind of like where it's at. It's like a very basic game design. So, because obviously the game design's already done. I'm just trying to balance the maps that people are playing on. I'm in Halo Forge. All right. I'm making Blood Gulch 3. So yeah, that's why we kind of like look at like having the elves that way, so you can still use them, but you kind of open here. But then obviously like the elves here are protected for this side, so your opponent's not going to be really using this, but they could be here and then pop out here and then see straight in. So you have to be kind of like be careful. So, and then same again here, you've kind of like got a quite safe protected bit here, but then your opponent has a really good bit here. A really good bit here to counter you quite easily. So that's what we kind of thinking. This will be the nuke town of 40k. Yeah, exactly. I've always been a fan of Terminator blobs. They just aren't meta. They're very hard. I think the only way you can run Terminator blobs right now is by using Librarian's Conclave with a Terminator Librarian and giving them the +2 move. Is it Biomancy? I think it is. Because the problem with Terminators is they're slow. They're so slow. But yeah, there's like the detachment abilities that every librarian unit gets +2 move, which is quite fun. And then there's like some decent enhancements you can put on them as well. It's very nice. So that's what we kind of thought with this one. It's like you've got a really safe bit to grab the objective in this corner. So let's give your opponent something to annoy you with it, you know? So that's kind of like, again, just the same principle, just slightly differently. This one's very similar. We just moved the terrain a little bit, so you've got lots of places to play. You're in here, your opponent can counter here, but they're in there, so you could counter there. And then Crucible is similar. You know, nice staging area to punish your opponent for taking this one. You've got quite a safe one here. They can punish you there. So they're all the maps. As I said, the problem is with running 5 types of terrain, which are all public, by the way. As I've said, all the maps are public. You can go have a look on all the event pages. They're all linked in there as well. We're going to have an updated calendar coming out today or tomorrow, I'm hoping. But as I said, that's the thing. It's every time I want to update a map pack, I have to update 30 of them or update 25, which is like super annoying, but also fun, because I know like the thing is with it is I like having so many different map packs because it keeps it interesting. Again, no matter what board you're on, you just don't know what you're going to hit. You can't plan and go, oh, actually, this type of terrain is super heavy, so I'm going to go for like a really close combat army. Or this one's super light, so I'm going to go for a shooting army. There's like a mixture, which is like really, really cool, and it keeps it, as I said, keeps it interesting, exciting. But then the problem is as an organizer, every time I want to update the terrain, I have to update loads and loads of map packs, and I have to sort out 5 different types of updates. If I add one piece of terrain to one of the maps, I'm going to do that for 10 tables or whatever. But if I add one piece of terrain to all the maps, that's every table that needs adjusting, and it's all slightly differently. It's 5 different types of adjustments. So sorry, may I have you elaborate on terrain? I mean, that information could help. What do you want me to elaborate on? What have I not been clear about? Let me know and I'll try and answer. So, but otherwise, that's everything. That's everything about the updates. So if you wanted to come, now's the time to grab a ticket. I've seen people have actually bought tickets off this stream, so I really appreciate it. But if you're watching this live, or you're watching this as a video, yeah, come to a Hellstorm event. I really appreciate it. You get to meet me, you get to hang out with me for the weekend, and we have a good time. It's a very good vibe, and also it's a really nice venue. There's carpet, there's drinks, I think there's going to be a bar as well. Food's included in your event ticket, and we've got loads of different types of terrain. How terrain makes stuff interesting and fresh. So different types of terrain layouts can keep the game fresh. If you play a game and you play on the same type of table every game, every tournament, every week, it's going to feel very samey because you're only playing the game in 5 types of ways, because the terrain on the board, it really controls the dynamism of the game state, you know. So like if you have one type of terrain, as I said, it's really heavy, you're going to take a combat army and do well every time because you can hide behind buildings, you can hide in terrain stuff. If you're playing a light terrain, if you're playing a gun army, you're going to have a better time because they're not going to be able to hide very easily and you're able to shoot them down. Now, if you play a tournament and it's all the same type of terrain, and it's all light, if you take a combat army, you have a terrible time. Whereas this event, my events, because we have so many different types of terrain, then because it's random, you can't control or like play for one type of terrain. You can't play for one play style because it's like, well, I could build a really shooty army, then hit 5 heavy boards. I could hit 3 heavy boards. I could hit a heavy board against a terrible combat army. I could play against a shooting army that's also a heavy board. That doesn't matter. That cancels each other out. So that's kind of like how it keeps it fresh, because if you play on the same layout every time, the same deployment type every time, it'll get samey. So I like how carpet is a selling point. It has to be, because most people play tournaments in gym halls with netball happening next year, you know, where you're trying to play a game and you're trying to hope that someone doesn't throw a dodgeball at a curtain that'll knock your table over. That is what happens at tournaments. So yeah, it's pretty funny. You kind of do have to go, yeah, we do have carpets. But it's just like a warm, nice venue, you know, as I said, you've seen the pictures, so. So I'm gathering, having the 3D element allows for more variety and opportunities for strategy. Yeah, exactly. It's, think about it from like a video game point of view. You know, if you have, like, if you play the same map every time, you learn where the optimal camping spots are, the optimal sniper spots, if it's Halo or whatever, like a weapon pickup. If they were the same on every map, but it was just a different colour, it'd get very boring very quickly, whereas different maps are laid out differently, you know? They have different angles, they have different elevation. So having that is like to be different every time is like super crucial, and you kind of take that same ideology, as it were, from video games and put it onto the tabletop. It works the same way. What happens in tournaments, in 40k tournaments especially, because we have preset map packs, because terrain is inherently used as a balancing piece, then what happens is the tournament buys out hundreds, if not thousands of pieces of terrain because it's the cheapest way to do it. And has the same map on every table. Either on table 1, you're playing on this type of map, you're playing on table 3422, and you're playing on the same map. So it doesn't matter where you play in a hall, you just move up and down for no reason. You're playing on ranked tables, so table 1 is the best players in the room, but ultimately your table number means nothing. So the way I do it is I have the random tables. So table 1 isn't table 1 in terms of ranking. It's table 1 as in type 1. So you are essentially randomized. So when you move around and your new round starts and you're on a new table, it's kind of for a reason. Because depending on what table number you hit, you're going to play on a different map. Kelly said to Mikey, table number means everything. For example, table number 69. But no, it's always annoyed me that the table number means nothing, because it should mean something. Oh, well, you're on table 1 because you're really cool. All right, cool. I could be on table 100. It makes no difference, you know. So yeah, it's just like that's why I do it. That's why I think it's great. That's why whenever I complain about drawing maps, I always remember the end of it is there's a reason. There's a reason I've done it, you know. So yeah. So anyway, there you go. That's all the update about 40k tournament news. Well, 40k updates. I'll be putting a video out about it separately tomorrow, I think. But if you are attending one of my events, then you've basically had all the information. Feel free to share it. Feel free to share the screenshots or whatever, but I'll be putting it out in an email tomorrow. Well, speaking of events, there's been a bit of a call out on Reddit. Now, just quickly send a text, and then we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Right. I was sent a post on Reddit, Warhammer Competitive, yesterday, about the Sheffield G2, which I didn't go to, you know. And it's the title of the post is Bad Actors in Competitive 40k and How We Should Deal with Them. Now, this is a little bit drama filled. Now, this post calls out a person. Calls someone out by name. Full name. First name, last name. And what they allegedly did at a tournament. Alright? Now, I want to preface this and kind of say that I'm only looking at it as an example of what I think they shouldn't do or what shouldn't be happening. What shouldn't be happening, and I think people need to be very, very careful of crying wolf. That's what I want to talk about. Rate them poorly on IMDb. Isn't that what everyone does with bad actors? I'm finally putting paint to models after a few years, working on a squad of assaulting sets of Blood Ravens. I was wondering, Mikey, if Reliquary Red is ever coming back in stock. Yes, Zeb. Ironically, I have the best-selling spray paint. It came back in stock last month, and it's out of stock again. But Zeb, yes, it will be back in stock, so make sure you keep an eye on the Colourforge website. Exclamation point Colourforge in chat. Or the Outpost, that's the best supplier for it. Exclamation point the Outpost. Outpost has a discount on it as well, I think. But every time you buy it through that, I get a kickback, which is cool. But yeah, they literally can't keep it in stock. It's so popular. So make sure you keep an eye out. Maybe put email alerts on. But yeah, they are planning on having it in stock. I think they might have some Absolute this weekend. But other than that, it's out of stock again. So you'll have to try your local retailer if they've got some, because a lot of local retailers do have them. But yeah, it's not gone. It's just out of stock. It's not a GW out of stock. We're out of stock. We need to order some more. So it's currently being made in the factories. But yeah, ironically, chat, best-selling signature series. What can I say? Is anyone else has been out of stock twice? Don't think so. Don't think so. Not that I remember. Suck it. So anyway, there was a post yesterday that I got sent. It did get deleted very quickly because it's a public call out. But I think I want to kind of like talk about it a little bit. I want to talk about it a little bit. So, the post is this. Bad actors in competitive 40k and how we should deal with them. As the title says, how do we, as a community, deal with bad actors in the competitive scene? I personally have a very strong opinions on this, which are blunt and to the point. Name, shame, ban from events. Going full, all guns blazing, you could say. I know this opinion is shared by some. There are a lot more measured/conservative opinions or approaches out there, and I know which I'd prefer, totally biased, but I also know this isn't the right approach every time. However, ... which I'll get into in a second. Now the thing is with it is before I go much further, woke up and chose a nuclear option. Yeah, literally. The thing is with it is I kind of agree that there should be a little bit of a name and a shame and a ban from event, you know. The problem is with that is that one, it's very difficult to ban someone when all you have to do is, what you kind of have to do is share their name around, which is not really fair. It's not really fair, and sometimes sharing information about players, such as names, email addresses and stuff, in the UK and EU, it's against GDPR. You know, unless you go up to a cheater, for example, and say, hey man, you've been cheating and giving you a red card, would you mind if I share your email address with other parties relevant? What are they going to say? Yeah? What the fuck? They're going to say no. So if you share them without permission, it's against GDPR, which is very, very expensive in terms of if they go, well, he shared my email or name or whatever without my permission. The GDPR police show up and kneecap you. Yeah, exactly, Wes. Exactly. So yeah, so I think there's a bit of a funny one because like that's something you have to be aware of, you know? The main one you have to be aware of is whether the information is true. Which, for the rest of this post, we have to kind of realise that the rest of it, as far as I'm aware, isn't true. It's not what happened. It was a rumour that was spread around very quickly, that very quickly got out. And then the truth came out, which was slightly different to what happened at this event, you know? And it's not good to go on public tirades against people, name, shame, and ban, when the person in question bringing this up, the poster, doesn't have the correct information, has no evidence of information, and and wasn't at the event as far as I'm aware. You know? I am all for name, shame, and ban, but that information has to be true with evidence. You can't just go, I heard from my friend in a WhatsApp group from someone else who told them that who was at the event, that they heard at the event this happened. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Especially when I do scroll down and reveal what we're talking about, because I said I want to preface this and say this isn't true. The information that happened, as far as I understand it, isn't true. And it can be career destroying, because obviously if someone trying to say this about me with no evidence, with no first-hand knowledge, this could be career ending if it was true. But this one isn't, and this could have been career ending, you know, because there was a player this weekend who dropped after round 3. And it was Kyle, who runs Pure Tie Program. He's a big Tau guy, right? It says, right now, I think this is a prolific bad actor that needs to approach, so here we go. This week at the UKTC Sheffield Super Major event, the UK players red carded. This is rare in itself, but this has, in my opinion, been a long time coming. Okay, so red carded didn't happen, by the way. As far as I understand, as far as I've been told, as far as the people I've asked and spoken to, didn't happen. So if you want someone to say, Mikey, you're wrong, okay. Well, they've got the same amount of evidence, so they're wrong as well. But also, complete conjecture at the second sentence. You know? Complete opinion. This is a long time coming. That doesn't mean anything. That's just your opinion. So you're going on a public tirade where 50% of this claim is your opinion. So they've tried to go out and say this person's got a red card because essentially the accusation, because again it isn't true, but the accusation was he was supposedly pulling a secret mission trick somehow, pulling a secret mission from his arse and saying he was claiming it, which as far as I'm aware is going to be very difficult to do, especially when most people play on an app. You know, you get to turn 3 on ITC battles or tabletop battles and it goes, would you like to choose a secret mission? You know, 90% of people use apps to score. You know, I am always a bit funny when people are like, no, use a notepad. I'm like, I ain't that good at maths, bro. You know, I ain't that good at maths. I like to see the score in real time. I don't want to have to be like, right, I scored 3 there, 2 there, 4 there. I don't even know half of my fucking missions work half the time. I just want to tick some boxes and I want to tell me a big number. All right, bigger number, better person when I tick some boxes. But yeah, so he supposedly, again, no evidence for this entire post, and it was deleted because you can't do public call-outs. Because again, I don't think public call-outs are fair unless there's evidence. Now, if there was evidence of this happening, they were talking about the evidence, probably would have been fine. But this is pure call out for no reason, you know. red carded for pulling his secret mission trick. A mission so secret his opponent didn't even know about it until he tells him at the end of the game, and claims to have won said game because of his super secret mission. He didn't do this just once either, but twice this weekend from what I've heard. And this isn't the first event he's tried pulling this trick out. Okay, where's the evidence? What other event was it? And where's your evidence? You know? Like, this is the thing. This is the thing. Like, whatever. I know Kyle. I don't talk to Kyle that much, but I know him, you know. He's local. He lives 45 minutes up the road from me, you know, I think. As far as I'm aware. His accent gives it away. But it's like, I'm not here trying to defend him, but like, you can't just go online and go, yo, this guy whose entire career is teaching people how to be better with Tau or whatever. Yeah, he's a big fat fucking cheat, haha. Like, there's no evidence. Well, the problem is we live in a rage-bait society, you know. I just said we live in a society, kill me. We live in like a rage-inducing headline-type online culture that as soon as you read a headline, that's it. You know, I've made my opinion. And this isn't on. I think this person is like actually diabolical for trying to post this because if they had loads of evidence of all these things happening that they're claiming, I'd be a bit like, okay, interesting, you know, let's take it further. Let's do a deep dive into this evidence. But it's all conjecture. It's all opinion based and there's no evidence, and this person wasn't even at the event, you know. Now, I think there is an issue kind of related to this, that, as I mentioned, it's kind of shit that if we have a tournament circuit, then if one person is a bit of a knobhead at one of them, the other tournament organizers don't know except for word of mouth. That is like super frustrating. That's something I really find annoying, especially now that Games Workshop own the ITC, previously independent, now international. Now that they own the ITC, I do think there should be kind of like a GDPR clause or whatever. Like, by signing up to this, you agree that your email can be shared on a database or whatever. XYZ, whatever it needs to say. Then, because I think now that they have kind of overtaken the ITC, we can be in a position where people, when they sign up to the ITC, they agree to have their information shared with other relevant people if these things happen. Maybe not a public database of yellows and reds, but maybe a database accessed by approved TOs, which they have a list of approved TOs. Maybe like a database of like, this person received a red at this event, so I'm going to submit it to the circuit. So then it's flagged on their account that they have a red card at this event. They had a yellow card. What was the reason for it? Now, again, the other problem with this is that, like, you're relying on people to use it in good faith, right? You know, people, if like some dickhead turns up to an event and someone doesn't like them, they could give them a red card and just put a flag on their account for no reason. Because obviously then Games Workshop has to take a responsibility for every TO that submits a red or yellow card. But I do think we need to move that way, because if there are people that are being knobheads, then if people are being knobheads and getting red cards and yellow cards, there needs to be like a shared database that tournament organizers can access, so when they have a list of players, then they can see like, oh, this person and this person, or hopefully no one, but like, this person's had a red card 3 times, you know? If someone gets banned from every event in the country bar mine, unless someone tells me, then I wouldn't know, you know? And obviously, if I've heard someone's got a red card at another event, I've got to be on high alert, or if I even let them play at the event in the first place, you know? Surely infractions can be announced and names are visible on UKTC and ITC rankings, so saying the name can't be an issue with GDPR. I don't know. I'm not a GDPR expert, but obviously because it's going cross-country as well, because it's obviously a multi-country circuit, I don't know. But I do think there needs to be something, because if this was the case, we'd have a record of it. And this person could go on their silly tirade with evidence, because without it, this means nothing, you know? This is just, without evidence, this is all just accusations and lies, you know what I mean? It's just, it doesn't mean anything. So it's just like, that if anything comes from this post, you know, rather than just someone spitting the dummy out and being like, I don't like Kyle, so I'm gonna put a shitty post out about him. There does need to be a database. So if this does happen, if someone is like, oh, actually, there was a super secret thing that they were doing, there's a report of it that's accessible, that more than just one type of tournament circuit, if we want to take tournament circuit seriously, you know? So yeah, supposedly did it twice, but I don't know what happened. Kyle did end up dropping after the first day. But I believe there wasn't, as far as I understand, there was an argument about something, but then Kyle ended up dropping, you know. Does that mean he was red carded? No. Does it mean he was in trouble? I don't know. I don't know that. But to go on a tirade with no evidence, then what are we achieving here? You know? Yeah, suppose there's a plethora of issues. Why has no one else spoken about it ever before? Slow play, clock gaming, talking out games endlessly, and just general cheating by making up stats. Go and check out his stream game against Jack Tight, where Jack has to correct repeatedly. Is that, whose stream was that? Is that mine? I've had Kyle and Jack on my stream. Whose stream is it? I've heard no ends of rumours about him in various chats. They can't all be true. But that's the thing, it's just rumours, right? So, if one person doesn't like him, they say something, and then it's a rumour. Is it true? Well, there's no evidence. You know? And clearly this post is a bad actor, because look at the emoji. Now discuss ... sunglasses emoji. You want to talk about bad actors in competitive 40k? You are one. You are one. With no evidence, you come out and go, here's my mic drop, I'm so funny and cool. You're a bad actor. You're part of the problem. Maybe your name should go on the database as being a twat. You know? The whole post is about calling out bad actors. You are being one. You're being a bad actor by dropping this post with this sort of like rhetoric, with this sort of like sarcasticness and fucking whatever. Now, if any of this is true, I do not condone it, but you've got no evidence, so what am I supposed to sit here and think? Am I supposed to take your word for it? On what? It's just like, the thing is with it is I think I'm very a bit high rate about it, because it's like, anyone could say this about anyone. You know, someone could like have a game with me, we could have a lovely game, and then they go on Reddit and go, yeah, Mike is a big fat cunt. You know? And that is like, I kind of consider it. It's a little bit scary that people just think it's okay to do that. You know? Like, hopefully, no one ever do that about me, because I would never give them a reason to. Or never at least try to. You know? Wouldn't be malice, it'd be me being a moron. But like, if you think it's true, or you know it's true, XYZ person, whoever, sure, bring some evidence. Bring some evidence to the table. You know, don't just be like, I heard about an event I wasn't at. That's just so stupid. As I talk about bad actors, you can't be a bad actor by doing that. You know? You could have talked about this without mentioning any name and had a really good conversation. And then you could have gone, well, I know this person has done this, here's the evidence. We didn't. I mean, there was the TO cheating for a friend in the USA and trying to get Kit Smith banned for airing out their cheating with receipts, though. So have to have multiple judges confirm the reports are valid, though, too. I have no idea what that means. I have no idea what that's referring to. So anyway, an interesting post, but yeah, someone shared it in my Discord. I was like, yeah, this is... The problem with this is none of it's true. I say let's have more cheating. Lead into it. If everyone's cheating, problem solved. How you doing, Luton? How you doing, bro? Thanks for popping by. Appreciate you. How's your game with Winters? I haven't watched it yet, but you were on Winters channel the other day, weren't you? How you had a good time? Oh, yeah, just fucking... You can't just go, oh, this guy's a big cheater, and then just not provide evidence. Because all it's doing is just... It's not doing anything. It's not doing anything. You're just being crazy. Yeah. Anyway. Hilarious moment 2 rolls. I look forward to watching it, bud. God damn, those changes to bolt weapons. How many dice? Yeah, 4K is about rolling dice, bro. What do you mean? 4K is all about rolling dice. You don't love rolling dice? Play the wrong game. Go play Heresy where they roll like 3, and you need a 3. Anyway, let's have a look at Meta Monday. Let's have a nosy. I know people are tuning in and saying, what's the big announcement? Feel free to rewind, but basically I've announced loads of updates to the All-Stars tournaments. New map packs, new terrain, loads of new cool stuff. So if you wanted to find out, then that's what you've missed. One squad of Marines kill my Transcendent Catan. Was it the Intercessors with the 40 shots or something stupid? I look forward to watching it, bud. I haven't got around to watching it yet. Also, hook me up with your contact to Moist Critical. I want to hang out with him. Anyway, big weekend this weekend. Sheffield had a 208 player event. 7 rounds. Guard Combined Arms came first. I don't know who was playing this. Let's find out. What date is it? The 7th. Who won? Gustavo? Who's Gustavo? Not to be rude, love you. Who is this person? I've never seen that name before. Gustavo Jose Branco Verandas de Sousa. What a name. Combat Arms, Command Squad, Tempesta Squad, Rogel Dawn Commander, Ursula Creed, Cadian Jungle, Krieg, 2 Bricks of Krieg, Chimera Double Taurox, Kassakin, Double Ross Scions. What? Excuse me? Beat Josh Roberts, beat Danny Everson. Holy shit, dude. I'm making you a salute this weekend. I am. Myself and Georgie are coming down, Pete. I don't have press pass again, though. I spoke about it at the start of the stream, but yeah, I don't have a press pass. I've got an exhibitor badge. But yes, mate, I'll be there. It'd be good to hang out. I can't wait to hear about the weather in Stoke this year. So two Lehman Russers, 1 Dawn. Actually, where's the rest of it? Is this half the list? Actually crazy. What was Josh running? Josh was running Blood Angels. What the fuck? Blood Angels Liberate Assault Group. Does he know that Lag's dead now? Captain with Rachel Warrior. Mephiston. Lieutenant with Combi Weapon. Double Impulsor. Assault Intercessor with Jump Packs. A unit of 10? What the fuck? Tier 5. Triple ballistas. Yo, bricks of blade guard. That's spicy. 2 bricks of 6, 1 brick of 3. Incursors for the +1 to hit. Scout squad. And 5 stern guard and vanguard. Where does his captain go? Maybe with the blade guard? Can a captain attach to blade guard even without a stone shield? Guarantee you Mikey will be playing this in a week or 2. He lost 2 games on my fuck. Never. I want the Ultramarines hype, bro. Unless Ultramarines get nerfed, then it's a new day. It's a new day after that. I suppose the captain can go with the big brick of blade guard. It just seems weird. I thought you don't... Did you need to use to have a shield to join? I feel like that was a thing. No blood... Oh, he's got Mephiston. He's got 1 Blood Angel unit. Yeah, you can leave Blade Guard. And then Blade Guard giving what? Reroll 1s to wound? Rerolling 1s of 1? Reroll 1 to hit and rerolling 1s of 1. Can't do with Stern Guard to get full rerolls. Yeah, you could go with Stern Guard. It just seems a bit... I'd still prefer Assault Intercessors. Personally. I suppose you're only rerolling 1s to wound then, but you really want to wound all the time. Not needing Oath a moment. This is like a wild list. This is really left field, I would say. Double Blade... I guess he's trying out the Blade Guard points drop. He's testing that Blade Guard points drop. Didn't work. He's going to drop another... That half price. 80 points for 6 next week. Telling you. 80 points for 6. But yeah, I tried the captain with Stern Guard. It weren't too bad, to be fair. It's quite cheap, but you're reliant on the... You're reliant on Oath the moment. Which is kind of an issue, I think. I still think Assault Intercessor might be slightly better. You don't have the ranged output with the heavy bolters, but you have more combat weapons. You can have a Thunder Hammer over a Power Fist, and you're always rerolling 1s to wound. Most of the game you're fighting over objectives and you're getting full rerolls. So... But then again, with this list, it's like the ballistas don't really need Oath of Moment. They can rely on the incursors and then the +1 to hit for the ballistas. Because ballistas have a rule where basically if you shoot something that's not below half strength, to reroll to hit. So you kind of have Oath on them all the time anyway. Kinda. It's the brick of 10 Assault Intercessors that's throwing me off a little bit. He's probably trying to work out if a unit of 10 is too cheap. You're on the Ultramarine hype until a new metal list comes out. Yeah, I think I'll be on Ultramarines for it until they get nerfed, to be honest. Then maybe I'll look at some Blade Guard. Yeah, wild list. The one that won was wild as well. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, so Sheffield was won by Guard and Eldari. We had Vic, VJ, come second. Well done to Vic, using Inari. Yanari won.
Mikey!
Yo! Thanks for £3.50. Just PMs for some drama. Have you?
Super chat £3.50. Just PM'd for some drama if you haven't covered it.
I haven't seen anything. Where have you DM'd me? Insta? From the Sheffield. If it's about Kyle, I've already covered it. Evidence, please. I've had nothing, mate. I've had nothing, bro. Can't see it. Anyway, Iberian Barcelona, 174 players. Huge event. Won by Ynnari, and then Blood Angels as well. Let's look at that Blood Angels list, shall we? How many rounds is it? 7. What was it called? Open Iberian. It's not showing up. Oh, it says 5 rounds, but then 7 rounds. That's probably why it's not showing up. Huh? Yeah, where's his fucking... where's his fucking event? Found it. Was this a GW event? Was this a GW event, or have they just stolen the logo? I think they've just stolen the logo, haven't they? That's crazy. Let's have a look at this one. Okay. Oh, what's this fucking layout, bro? Oh, it's in fucking alphabetical. What the fuck? Why would you write it like this? Why would you write it like this? This is awful. Isn't a Blood Angels captain 85 points? I mean, crazy. Oh, it's 80. Okay. So we've got 3 units of assault intercessor, 3 with jump pack, triple ballistas, 6 blade guard, a Blood Angels captain with rage for a warrior, a junk pack captain with speed of the Primarch, librarian Mephiston, double impulsor, an intercessor with a Judicia, probably with the assault intercessors, combat rifle lieutenant, Sangard. So they'll be taking the speed of the Primarch. Where does his captain go? Bladeguard? But this is just begging for a points hike. They went up 10 points, and the people are just like, yeah, we'll just take 3. There were 130 and people were taking 2. Now people are just taking 3. They went up, just take another one. Fuck it. They are so obscenely good. So Canada was won by Bile, and then Death Guard. What the fuck? Holy shit. The fuck it open. The fuck it open in Thailand, dude. Looks like you're getting loads of use out of those Vindys. Yeah, Vindy's already dead, bro. Fuck it open in Thailand. Let's go. Won by Grey Knights, and then Necron Starshat went for a draw. Yeah, I think this is like one of the biggest events in Thailand. I was a bit like, maybe I want to go to Thailand and play some Warhammer. You know, I always use tournaments as an excuse to go travel around. maybe I want to go to Thailand, hang out there, go play some Warhams. So well done there. Cool. 60 players is really good, really good. You don't really see big events from like places like in Asia on these very often. So great job to them. 60 player 5 round won by Synaptic, absolutely crazy, and then Gladius Task Force. I imagine that's Gwely Man. What's he called? Salt 3. I don't have enough time to look through every list, chat, because I'm going soon. I'm just looking through all the Space Marine ones. The ones I care about. Sorry, chat. Is it Ultramarines Gladius? Ultramarines Gladiators! Oh, look, there we go. It's the list that I'll be running. It's the list. It's the list, chat. Okay. Okay. The list that I lost to. Warzone is won by fucking what the fuck? Nagel won an event? Nagel's shit. Nagel's poo. Why is it winning an event? I care about the Nin Nexus. What's in that one? Alright, could dress nicely. Hive Tyrant with Synaptic Control. Neuro Tyrant with Power of the Hive Mind. Hormagaunts. Biovores, Horospex, Lictor, Neurogaunts, Neurolictor, Norn Emissary, triple Norn Emissary, there it is. Psychophage, double Psychophage, and Zoanthropes. Triple Norns, having the best day ever. Neural Nexus, the brain bugs of the planet. Yeah, Triple Nexus is Triple Norn's good. It's just a stat check, and sometimes it works. 4 up, 5 up is hard to deal with, depending on the type of terrain as well. It's an American event, so I'm not sure. So yeah, Triple Norn, have the best time. 50 players, Orc Daka won an event. There it is. So yeah, so like not going through every single event. There's a lot to go through today. But yeah, if you kind of look at some of the win rates, Mordaka's still very high. Still at 63% with 41 players. Any World Eaters at 1? Well, I'll look at World Eater stats if you want. Triple Norn is fun, not against Knights. No. So Mordaka's still sat at 63%. 16 players, 40% of the players going undefeated day 1. 16% going X and 1. Which is obviously just showing you just how quite crazy it is. These are stats that haven't been seen before in terms of like X and 1 and T-Whip and undefeated day 1. So, whilst the 63% is just high, outside of like 2 people playing the faction, it is just obscenely high. This, compared to the number of players, is also obscenely high. You know? Is there anything else? Necrons had 17, but split across a bunch of factions. This is 16, but only 3 of them... 19, but 3 of them were not that detachment. They only have 1 detachment. Shadow Legion definitely pushing its way out, but the overall win rate is pretty low. And only a third of the players. Where's World Eaters? World Eaters are struggling a little bit. A little bit, chat. Vessels of Wrath and Berserker Warband, low average. Low average. There's only 7, what was that, 45 players? Yeah, 45 players, only 7 of them actually made it to XM1. So, Worldies are going to get a big update, so don't be too disheartened. I don't know when they're going to get their update, but they'll have an update soon. But chat, did you see my reel? I made a thing. Where is he? There he is. I made my own Slaughterbound, if you didn't see. Da-na. Na-na. I made a Slaughterbound. Now, I don't have a World Eaters army, so I'm probably going to raffle him off at All Stars. But yeah, I made one early. I made one early. It's basically the same. All this is an 8-bound on a different base, and then a possessed arm. That's all I did, and it just looks the exact same. Me versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. It's the same guy. Drukhari win rate too high, needs nerfing. F you, George. Is Drukhari too high? Is it? Four people got 65% win rate. 4. 4 whole people. Actually wild. I mean, that's it. That's the other highest one, right? 57%, 6 people. 6 people almost went 3-2. I'm needing 3 slaughterbound. Do you need them? Do you even know what they do? I don't. 10 people almost went 3-2. 1 person did go 3-2. Stormlands, pretty good, 68%, almost 4 wins. That 10 points for Cabalites and Witches was clearly too good. We need another bag of Dark Eldar nerf and make their shit data slate even more useless. Whoa! Space Wolves! Space Wolves broken. One guy went 4-1. One guy went 4-1, them nerfed. That's what I have to laugh at when people talk about win rates, though. That's the problem. 4 people went 4-1. That's technically a broken army according to GW. 4 people went 3-2, sorry. Maximum. On average. Black Templars, 2 people. 1 went 4-1. What? Broken. But then you just look at Mordak and it's like, huh. They went a little bit more than 3-2. It is also a third of the people playing that faction that weekend. Weird. Weird. Anyway, chat. Let's bang out a quick one, shall we? Let's bang out a quick one. Kyle also on record saying retaliation cadre strongest tide attachment, lowest win rate. Okay, dropped. Let's bang out that quick one before I go. Nope. AE. Oh, no SRT. No R. Yellow. Ah! Still not in the right order. Ah! It's tough today. It's not good. So E is in the last 2 slots. So it probably ends in E. Summit A, Summit E. Damn. No E. Duck. Dales. No S. Oh! Is it canal? No. Canal. Canal. So it's Summit A, Summit E, L. Or it's L, A, Summit, E, Summit. Latex. No T, no X. What about Cavill? Oh! I was thinking Cavill the Rock from Dark Souls. H-A something E-L. Hazel. Like hazelnut. Oh, got it. Got it. Let's go. Let's go. Got it. The Havel was a bit of a stretch. Havel the Rock was a bit of a stretch. Yeah, well done, Lord Nebe. Well done, matey. Okay, alright, chat. Alright, gamers. We did a quick Wordle. That's about it for today. That's about it. Alright. So, I'm going to go for now. I've got a couple of videos I'm working on. Some really exciting ones today. Tomorrow. And then this weekend. Got a fun one coming out on Saturday. If you watched some of my other videos recently, it's very similar, but in a cool way. In a cool way that you'll enjoy, I would say. Saved by Miyazaki, yeah. Thank you. Praise Miyazaki. Should have put Dustblood. Should have put Blood. He always puts blood in titles. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed my little presentation about All Stars events. Don't forget you can grab tickets using my link. And then hopefully I'll be back next week with a normal battle report. And yes, I'll be at Salute if you're going to be there. Come and say hi. So thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you. Sorry it was a little bit more of a laid back stream. I'm quite tired after fucking destroying my life's work this morning. But we'll be back Wednesday for the news. Back Wednesday to talk about the stock market, baby. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. Appreciate you. Bye. Bye-bye now. Bye. Bye.